All right, what's up, everybody? This is going to be a rather short video. Again, it's like the famous saying of mine: "This is going to be short," and it never is. But however, this will actually be short. I got quite a bit of things I still need to attend to tonight. It's what I can't see the clock from here. I think it's almost like 10. I think it might be 10 o'clock. And I am whipped today. So we took a little family vacation, spring break, and so what was it? It's 5 days, and never felt it during those days. There's a lot of hustle and bustle. You're on vacation, so you're generally in a good mood. You're doing a bunch of things, experiencing, the embracing the culture of wherever you're at, and you're just in a good mood. And I feel like you just don't really get that feeling of exhaustion or fatigue. I feel like it's just like your body's constantly tampering it down. And then, today woke up. So I woke up pretty early. I was actually getting up even earlier on vacation. I was getting up at 4:30 and would train for an hour and a half where, the kids and Brianna got up, and I never had an issue with that. Was fully awake. I'm not really a morning training person, especially that early, but it felt great to have any issues. And again, I think it just is, you would chalk that up to just being on vacation, being in that mindset. And then today got up at 5, tried to read, sit and read and drink a coffee, and I was like constantly falling asleep, could not stay awake for the life of me. Was dragging ass all day today. My workout tonight was decent at best, just tired. Definitely could feel like that, like jet lag, even though we drove, but I'm just using jet lag metaphorically speaking, just feeling, I feel the vacation now. And so I'm whipped. Got more things I got to get to tonight, so I'm gonna keep this real quick. I really just wanted to go over just two things. The first one being the recent Instagram posts I've been making have all had similar styles to it, and essentially what I'm doing is just highlighting my current training journey, and it's pretty straightforward. I always started out with I'm a dad and small business owner, training for a half and full marathon while continuing to get stronger, put on muscle, not to essentially to avoid getting that, I guess if you want to call it like a runner's body. I think it's, people like to draw a line in the sand that you can only do one or the other. You can only be a strength athlete, you can only be an endurance athlete. So I'm gonna just, my training is definitely blending the two. It's definitely not easy. I'm figuring a lot out about how to train this way and how to recover, and it's just like a different feel to what I'm used to, and I love it. And, it's because it's a challenge, and we definitely, we all need challenges in our life, whether maybe they should be physical and mental, but just whatever applies to you, definitely should be challenging, stretching your limits. So this is what's going on. So I wanted to highlight it because I feel like it's a kind of an interesting thing. I'm trying to just put out content, so I'm just trying to pump out as much content as I can with the limited free time that I have to make it. Because I just post and go. So I'm just posting and then I'm out. So I'm really trying to do a good job of just getting all that stuff out there, making these videos. But there's only so many hours in the day, and the training that I'm doing, it requires a lot. So I'm trying not to just throw sleep out the window. It's probably why today was so rough, because just the continuous lack of sleep and days stacking upon each other. So I'm gonna try to get that in check, and that's gonna start tonight, maybe. We'll see what time I end up actually turning it in for the night. But yeah, so essentially I'm just going to continue to take little snippets of videos, put a voiceover to them, just explain what's going on, and then I'm looking to dive down a little bit deeper rabbit holes, almost like little side discussions, like here's a little bit more information about the daily the vitamins and supplements I'm taking. Here's like the meal prep and type stuff. So just again, if you're interested, cool. If you're not interested, cool. I think it's just fun for me to put it out because it's just content to put out, and it's going to be archived forever. So I like that part of it. So there's that. Hopefully, again, it's just gonna be. It's obviously I just started doing it, so I'm planning to take it a bunch of different routes, but I definitely want to highlight a lot of the trials and tribulations, not just make fake content, fake videos, planned stuff. I just don't like any part of that. So try to make it as real as possible, because this is I live a real life. A lot of times, like the internet, social media, everything is fake in the sense that people put on a identity that's not actually true to who they are and a life that they live. So everything that I put out is like raw, it's real, it's actually what I'm doing. And that's why I'm putting, I am a dad and a small business owner training for this. I'm just like you. I'm not claiming to be something that I'm not. So it's just real, raw training of a guy who's determined to do something, to prove to himself that he can do it, and to do it for his family and others that see value in what I have to offer, and they can essentially, I hate to use this, but essentially look to me to better their own life. So I definitely like to use that lead by example mentality, and that's what I'm after. So gonna keep putting those out. Hopefully people like them. If not, whatever. That's fine. I'm doing it for the ones that do. So and then the second thing before we wrap this up, I actually just made a brief mention of it in an Instagram post I just put on. I had already mentioned that we went on a little vacation, and in my Instagram caption that I just put on, I essentially mentioned about my work-life balance. Just plan to right now dive a little bit deeper into that, because it's hard to get a full discussion and a full dialogue on Instagram. So work-life balance, it was something I always definitely struggled with. It was always lopsided. It was very excessive in the work area, not really so much the living life arena. So, which again, I guess not to put too much blame on myself, but I was definitely hungry when I first started out doing this, and was like really trying to work and train as many people as possible. And obviously that's going to require some sacrifice. And then getting a full-time job as a physical therapist, and still, training, and then, still being a full-time physical therapist and opening my own business. I don't know how much you can expect the work life to be even. I just don't think that was necessarily practical, but it was necessary, I think, at the time and moment, to get to the point to where I'm at, to where I can actually now, while I still am young, sort of reevaluate my work-life balance, because I think it's you can only live a certain life for so long, and that's definitely not to say that you just have to throw away one or the other. It's more or less just trying to even it out to where you're able to feed both ends of that spectrum. And it was amazing, because I always prided myself on never really taking any time off. And even if I did take time off, I was still always somewhat connected into what I was doing with either work, like the full-time job or the training. I feel like I was always somewhat still interwoven. It was never just taking time off. So this was the first trip first time ever I actually I completely checked out. From Wednesday to Sunday, didn't, there's no going on the phone. The only time I went on the phone was just to check the weather or go on Spotify so I can listen to podcasts or listen to music while I was working out. And, that was it. Completely checked out. Was not on, Instagram, was not, on email, was not going through texts or calls. It was nothing. And it was cathartic. It was amazing just to have that. I feel like you don't notice it until you remove it, because we're so just accustomed to it at this point, just because of the world that we live in. The phone is basically a extension of ourselves, and because we're on it so much, we do so much on it. And then you strip it away, and it's just such an amazing thing. And I, I'm almost like kicking myself that it's taken me this long to get to that point where I finally was able to disassociate the work and just to living the life. And it's something that I think that we all should, in some form or fashion, be practicing. People watching is always fun to do. So you're on vacation. It's like the best time to people watch when you're at busy places, and just people watching the past 5 days. It's sad to see. And again, I'm not speaking down onto people, because this is something that I have been guilty of, and I've done some self-reflection and am changing my habits. But it is sad to see how many people are just living with their head down through a screen. And once you know what to look for, and you're observing, and you're actually seeing, it's sad. And again, this isn't putting myself above others at all. It's just, I think we're all victims to this changing world with the technology and the environment, and we all somewhat got captured. And it is addictive when they when I say use the word they, I'm speaking in a broad sense of just the tech industry. They've done a good job at getting us hooked on these devices. And I was just listening to a podcast actually while I was eating dinner before this, and it was just speaking about how these algorithms are meant to do two things: is to keep us entertained or to anger us. And it's a lot easier just to anger. So you see a lot of people that are constantly on, not only are they online because they are addicted to the algorithms, but they're getting angry by the algorithms. And once you just dissociate yourself from that world, and you live into the real world, and you're living in the present, you're experiencing things around you without any competing stressors, like what is going on in the world, on trying to see and observe and live everything through the internet. You're actually in the real world, and it's just an amazing thing. And it's so crazy that this is something that we are now having to talk about and go over. And unfortunately, again, a lot of my work is done on the phone, making the videos and putting content out on Instagram. So it's hard for me to just completely be off of it. Obviously you need to do certain things on your phone, but I'm definitely doing a good job of just getting in and out. I'm not lingering. Once you get sucked into it, it's just you're done for, and you end up wasting so much time. And just you think about all that time that you're spending on your screen, how much time you could be doing other actual productive things in the world. And it's sad because I'm trying, there's so many times where I'm trying to have conversations with people, and they can't even make it through a conversation without looking down to check their phone. And it's just like, we've really become captured by these things. And this is definitely something that I'm very into right now. A lot of the stuff that I'm reading right now, it has to do with this topic, because it is, I think a lot of the research now is officially coming out that shows actual, statistical results, and they're not good. It's definitely, none of this is contributing to living a healthier, happier, more fulfilled life. So to wrap this up, because this is definitely something I'm going to continue to just go on and on about, so I'm sure in future videos we're going to get a lot more of this. But to wrap this up, do yourself a favor and try to create healthier habits. One of those being, I would say this is a low-hanging fruit, would be to minimize your time on your device. Try to, do little experiments with yourself. See how often, when you have the slightest stop, like I call a stoppage in your day, where you pull up to a red light and you're sitting there waiting. See how many times you have to check down and look at your phone and start scrolling, because you can't sit there and just wait for the light to turn red without having something going on to stimulate your brain. Same with going to the bathroom. That's a classic one. You go down, you go to the bathroom, you whip it out, and you're scrolling. Next thing you know, you end up sitting on the toilet for 15 minutes for what could have been a 1-minute bathroom trip. So start to run these little self experiments or observations, and do some auditing on yourself. Try to cut down on the screen time, like your averages that they send you every week. Try to cut down on it. Try to actually go somewhere out to if you're going out to the store, hanging out with people, whatever it is, go do that thing and keep the phone away from you, off, and just experience what it's like to actually go somewhere and be completely invested in that, and not having to be constantly stimulating your brain with different distractions on your phone. So I know this is such a odd random topic that I'm talking about, but it's relevant, because for doing working with youth athletes for as long as I've worked with them, I am definitely seeing differences in these, every time these new waves of athletes come through, every couple of years, you can tell the differences in these kids, and it's not good in terms of the ability to maintain maintain attention and directive towards tasks. And it's rare to see somebody just train and not check their phone several times during a workout. It's a topic that needs to be discussed more, and if it takes somebody like me to talk about it, because I see it, I have a little bit of skin in the game, then that's what it takes to get this word out, maybe help change some things. And what's going to happen if we make these slight changes with our lives? We're probably going to be happier. And I don't think that's just my opinion. It's again, we're starting to see a lot of these people that have been studying and looking at the numbers for years and years and years. They're putting it all out there, and it does show that with the simplest thing is just detaching yourself from being on your phone so much and being sucked in by these algorithms, these scrolling. A simple thing like that, low-hanging fruit, can make a huge change in your life. And I'm all about those small hinges that swing big doors. What little things can you change that don't require a whole lot of time and effort, that can dramatically change your life experience. So that's something that I'm going to continue to preach on. So yeah, all right. I am definitely getting, I can feel my eyelids getting heavier. So we're gonna wrap this up, and then I will be back soon. Go over some other stuff, and just gonna keep preaching how to just live a strong, healthy, happy life. And there should be no. I don't see how that could be wrong. All I'm going to continue to talk about is ways to make your body healthier, make your mind stronger, and emotionally become a happier person. And if that's a crime, we're all F then. I don't know. But all right, so until the next one, I will talk to you guys later.